Isn't it weird that the best players in the world have it all? Like, I mean,
What do you mean have it all?
people wish Connor
Like well-rounded
Connor
people.
McDavid was more like amplified and they'd have something to write about. But that dude is
like,
the most
yeah.
boring, chill. Like
Like
he's like
a McGregor or a Mayweather
But
type.
also like
he's a
they all like, I don't know, as much as like you could say hockey is almost like a gentleman's sport. Like they're all class acts. They're all classy.
yeah, no, for sure.
There's bad apples and everything, but like
What?
that's what people want. And they know cameras are all over them. And if they say one thing, like,
Oh yeah, they'll take that.
yeah,
Right.
they're on top of their social media too. Their social media, like, dude, just their captions, like throughout the season, are so good.
Well, and what's crazy to me about hockey specifically is how many outlets report on it. I mean, it's like anything really.
It was interesting to see Power Slap put up more numbers than all other pro sports combined. Just based,
Really?
well, there's a shock factor, but that sport leans into that short form content perfectly.
Oh yeah,
You can post one slap and a guy getting knocked out, and then there's your post. And
Well, there's all you need.
that's all you need.
You know,
in an event,
You don't need
it's like,
hype.
That's all there is.
That even helps you frame up the idea of like a podcast. Like even though a podcast is just people bantering, like there has to be some like connectivity to something. I think
Relevance.
relevance and
Context,
connectivity,
yeah.
context. Like you got to have, because everything I researched was like, why would I listen to these people? Like take Wolverines Nation for example. Like that was very acute. He was like doing the season, all the parents, everybody. You had an instant audience.
mm-hmm.
Our instant audience, if you want to make the argument, would be obviously people that follow us right now. It would be if we talked about snow machining related stuff, they would obviously be listening to that for sure. But like, what things have we done?
With this internal push, it's also forced us to think about what kind of projects we want to do moving forward and how we want to do them. Like obviously we've been focusing on efficiency is a big one, like being able to turn things around and these retainers, like obviously we've been able to do that.
Yeah.
using every minute of the day.
Yeah. But also I think we're right on the edge of bringing in different types of clients.
UHF.
I think that's exciting too.
I mean, just based off of the feedback that I've been getting recently, I think people are really starting to take notice. Like it's people that I didn't really know that well or kind of know tangentially. They're just like, oh man, I see that you guys are putting this out, and I saw that video that you did, or that picture of the video that you did, and everybody's just kind of
We're like
picking up on
scratching
it.
the surface.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just about
it's just the
doing
start,
a
and I-
bit.
And I think that the more that we do it, the more reach we're going to get and expand the audience, and it's going to be good for business, good for us. It'll put us, it elevates us because everyone sees, you know, what we're doing and that we care about it.
Well, it's just putting you in front of them. I said to Kyle, I was like, if I see Trajan's face pop up on my feed every couple days, at some point, whether I'm in the market or not, I'm going to see him and be like, who is this
Stop
guy?
and listen to them. Yeah.
And then I'm going to do research. Also, we've had major uptick on our website. Major uptick.
Yeah.
And we've done very little.
Between the push on Facebook and like newsletters and
Yeah,
like,
newsletters
I mean, not that
great.
newsletters are bringing in a whole lot, but I mean, we've been talking about it for like last probably year or two. I think the reasoning was basically just staying top of mind. And with the first broadcast that we pushed out, Ward, we seen that he clicked on our website and then called you. And like, so I think just staying out in front of people and letting them know we're here is a big thing. And then also letting them know all the different things that we can do. And then we get to talk about it in our own words. And then even like the part of where we like fill you in on what we did, like we went fishing or you went shrimping. And then I think it's just interesting. People love to know who we are and what we're about.
Yeah, it's less of an interaction with like a business and more like as businesses, we're always, I mean, we don't say, and we say MCG, but we mean Rob, John,
Yeah.
Garrett, interiors department,
It's less
Melissa,
about what you
everybody.
do and more about who you are.
I mean, is it? I mean, that really is
That's
it.
it.
I mean,
that's it. Yeah. I mean, I was talking to Monica and I was like, look, prime example, if you lean more into you, the fact that you have this story, you went to school for horticulture, you married a guy that was from Alaska, always loved Alaska, you moved here, you want to continue, you found Green Connection. Like there's such a micro lineage that we talk about that you have.
Which you worked for them too.
It was important in that edit that you put her face early on. This is Monica. This is a personal person that I can engage with. You know, connecting the two of her and her business, wildly important.
I think it's even interesting that what we do is how we look at things in a sense of like, first off, we have to say this thing because they don't know anything yet as we work with clients. And then it's like, take, for example, like, yeah, like I are the ones we work with a lot. Like now we're even like, what other things can we do beyond this?
Yeah.
That's what this is, the podcast.
Yeah.
This is a new, like completely new line of something that we're trying because it's like, well, we're really good at a lot of things, but like, you know, you don't want to be a master of none, jack of all trades, but you want to be like, you know, I think all these things are tools. We have this style, we have the podcast style, we have interview style, iDirect. We even have interview look off camera style, which we do very little of now. Again, isn't that crazy?
It's crazy to look back.
Like we
at our
don't
old stuff.
we don't shoot anything not off the iDirect,
Yeah, pretty
Unless
much.
it's a second angle.
Second angle.
which we are starting to like again,
Yeah.
or what, not like again, but I was fighting it,
into
and
it,
you guys
yeah.
are liking what it's providing.
Well, because I mean, for the most part, like we never really kept people on screen a whole lot.
Yeah,
It gets back to that short form, more doc style, where you're trying to keep somebody when, okay, I'm seeing him. Oh, now I'm seeing him over here. Oh, I'm back here.
Like when
it
you
just,
need to cut
right
the
when you're about to
clip, yeah.
lose, you get them a different way. Yeah.
Keeps it moving.
Yeah.
I was gonna say is the Chimp Empire. I still haven't finished it yet, but that is pretty amazing to me. Like how they're able to follow those chimps, dude. I've like researched BTS on it because I wanted to figure out how they were doing this, and they're pretty much living with them, and
They're
like,
in the shit.
they're walking. I was telling Kyle like they're walking with a Ronin right next to him when they're going into battle, basically like to fight over territories.
So the only reason in the same research I did, the only reason is there's been people in those tribes of
The people that live next to them, basically.
of chimps. Yeah, they've been studying them for generations.
Yeah.
So generationally, all of the chimps understand that there's human beings and we don't really mess with them, but they're there. They don't mess with us. We don't mess with them. But those shots where the alphas go on their little tantrums to like assert dominance over the
Like
group.
the rain dances and stuff.
Oh, dude. You see a 1,000-pound chimp racing by you at 40 miles an hour, just destroying everything in its path. From me to you, Sam.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Oh, my God.
So like
it's
part
amazing.
of the BTS thing that I watch is like these people know these chimps so well. They know the paths that they take. They know like who usually is where and like where they're going, or like if they're not here, they'll be here. Like the amount of data that they have on them is insane. And then the fact that I'm almost certain they've done blood work on all of them because they know ages and who's related to who.
And
even
whose
though-
babies are whose. Yeah.
Even though like the alpha doesn't know that that's his kid that he just beat the shit out of. Like
When they're, so like, is it Congo?
Uganda.
Uganda.
Yeah.
So there's different regions, and when they go to war, they like know they're getting ready to go to war because they're always trying to fight over territory. But yeah, you got cameramen in the midst of a march, and then cameramen in the midst of another march, and you know at some point they're about to collide and go crazy on each other. It is fascinating. It's only like 4 episodes.
Yeah, I think I'm on the 3rd.
Yeah,
how long are they, like full feature?
About an hour.
they're
Yeah.
about an hour each. A lot of content.
Yeah.
A lot of the shooting style is really good too.
Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of it is just out of context and they're able to find these shots. But like the story they're able to piece together, I was even thinking about it, like just how I would do it or like how you'd approach it. And it's like, it's just crazy because you're just out there filming them, watching them, what they're doing. And like, hopefully you get a story out of it.
I think it's crazy how, I mean, Kyle always makes fun of me because I like love sitting on stuff and longer form stuff. My
I mean,
attention span's fine.
there's definitely a time
But then
and
you
a
have
place.
these people that are like, you know, walk off 10 seconds later. It's funny to play with my son on those. Actually, I'll show him something that we've done.
See his reactions.
Oh yeah, I watch
Some
it constantly.
he'll be glued, and others like 10 seconds in, even though he like supports me, he'll walk off.
Oh yeah, Janae's.
And I'm like, okay, what did I learn from that? You
yeah,
know what I
Janae's
mean?
very much like that. I used to like, I would show her something and she would start to watch it and she'd be doing something else and I would start to get irritated because she just wasn't
turn it
even
off,
there.
yeah.
But now I don't even like, I just let her see it. And
She's just so used to just A1 content coming out of the production house. You know what I mean?
You know
She's
what
just
I
not
mean?
even surprised.
I mean, let's
anymore.
be honest. Let's be honest.
She's like, we get it. Everything you do is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it can get boring.
Wow, this is another Kyle Bureau film. We get it.
Dude, when we see his old edits, Kyle Aaron Bureau Films.
You know,
or
I was
Aaron Bureau
trying to
Films,
like be
I'm
relevant when I wasn't. I mean, that's all I was doing. I was like, I want my name to be attached to this. I mean, okay, yeah, if you're feeling real happy about an edit. It's where you want to put your name on it.
Yeah.
Like edited by or
Front
Kyle's
and center,
like-
yeah.
I looked, A24 was taken, so I had to put Aaron Bureau Films.
yeah, seriously.
Jesus.
It's funny, actually, like when Shirley and I got together, you know, she likes movies and stuff, but now she's like, oh, babe, I saw this A24.
Oh, like
gotta
yeah,
watch
when
it.
you know the production companies, you're like, okay, guys,
Yeah.
we get it.
Yeah.
It was actually crazy before I really knew who A24 was. My brother was mentioning it to
Yeah,
me.
some people just know that
And
stuff.
the only reason I knew of it because is you were telling us when we were back at the old office, you were like, look at these guys. And then I started seeing their films everywhere. I think their like life lessons that are integrated into their movies are crazy. Like Marcel the Shell or whatever that one is with shoes or whatever. Like, I showed Danny and Jasmine that trailer, and I guess Jasmine used to watch the little like animations on YouTube or whatever. So she was like instantly hooked. And then like the life lesson just that you get through the trailer of it is just, and then I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh,
like,
dude,
oh my
great
So
film.
good.
Yeah.
The
And
one,
like,
best picture, dude. Like just like that type of film, like it's like that. Oh, you're always saying this. Like film can be so much more than just like a video or whatever you're making. Can be so much more that is so accurate in that film.
yeah.
I was bawling. I was like, man, I am fighting. I don't even.
Oh, it's interesting. You told me that, and I'm pretty emotional when I watch film, and I didn't get that
So,
reaction. So
it
it's
had something
interesting.
to do. I remember thinking about it at the time, and I remember thinking it was just like, maybe it was because I was a parent. It was like, what lengths would you go to save someone?
Yeah.
Like that's just like,
I think it's interesting. I watched it with my mom, and she had an interesting relationship growing up with her mom. I don't know. I just thought a lot about their dynamic as I was watching it.
how does she react to it?
She was silent. Yeah. So I couldn't read her very well.
That's crazy.
But I'm sure she was in her head thinking quite a
I
bit.
think that's even interesting how like people process emotion. Some people they can watch something and feel the feels, but they just like keep it tied up. In editing, the more I would let myself go and feel those emotions I was trying to gain out of the edit.
Feeling your own emotions while you're editing, as opposed
Yeah,
to
well, you feel it like when I literally when I'm watching a timeline, it's hard to describe. I've talked about it before, but you're like you play something and it's like it's a few frames off and you don't get it, but then the second you shorten it, it hits that beat and the music lifts, and then you see the shot and the kid's like smiling at the camera. You're like, oh, and then you're like chest tightens, like your chest will physically.
I mean, for example, Year One trailer.
Mhm.
Like when that
Like
one
it-
song hits and they're praying in that circle, like
The hairs stand up on the back of your head. It's like it's
Yeah.
that,
when
that's
I
like, we
when I
talked
hear-
about that.
Yeah,
remember?
when I hear Keith every time, even if I watched it today, when I hear him say,
Gotta believe.
"We gotta believe," I'm like,
yeah,
my whole arm
because
stands up.
it's like it's interesting to think that the editing that we're doing and the cadence on screen is all these chemicals being injected into someone's body as they're watching. Dopamine, fighter, all these like chemicals. If you think of it like that, like to visualize when you're looking, it's coming into your eyes and your chemicals are like, okay, I got this, I like that, I don't like this, I like this, I like this, I don't like that. It's all chemical.
What sucks is I wish I could take myself out of who we are and just be a random person watching a random piece we've done and see how I feel about
Yeah,
it.
and the closer you can get to that as an editor, the better.
It's definitely hard though.
It is hard to do.
You
Like
know?
I like this,
With
but like,
Wolverines, how invested were we? So obviously you have this innate feeling that has already been gathered.
yeah, like you're the only one that
So-
can do it. But again, sometimes people,
Does that make, other people's arms hair stand up? You know what I mean?
I think it does.
That's why I try to check in with my friends quite a bit when we have like
Mm-hmm.
a friend night or something, and I'll show them, the last 5 or 10 pieces that we've done, and try to get like a realistic, honest review of how they feel about it.
And that's hard because
And it's-
obviously everyone wants to support you.
Yeah, and they do, but they know that being more honest is more supportive than just being like, oh yeah, that was great.
Facts. You need
Yeah.
you need friends like that.
Yeah.
That's really
And
what
I-
you're
you're not
after.
gonna grow.
I've gotten
No.
some that are like,
Yeah.
this one wasn't that cool, and I was like, oh man, but I really liked it, and then I would end up changing it or thinking about it or putting those changes into the next edit. And then,
Yeah.
Dangerous, but also maybe good.
Well, yeah.
Does,
I mean, to
does,
a layman person, their opinion's so valuable because that's the masses.
the beauty is when
True.
they can articulate it. Like if you can tell me as that, like I love people that are like outside of my sphere and outside of my like expertise, even, but they can see something and then articulate back to me what that feeling was like for them.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people just can't describe it. Like,
when
like
you
it's
get
just
that in a
not.
client,
Yeah, a client. That's
the
a hard
best.
one.
But that's the best.
That
when
is the best.
When it
Oh, when a client
clicking,
can give you that?
Ward,
Oh,
weird,
bruh.
like
For sure.
those people. Yeah.
Like these are the things I'm feeling.
Do you guys
about
get
it.
feedback from your significant others?
About our work.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, typically it's all positive.
Yeah, all positive.
I don't know if it's because I was sweating and I have dry skin coming up, but my arms were like literally blistering last night at the gym.
Oh, from your guys' fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was literally like running my thumb down here and they're just
From the
popping,
sunburn?
like, popping. Yeah. Fucking. It's
Just
it's
yesterday?
Not bad today.
That was like over a week ago.
Yeah.
You got torched, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was like the nicest day of the summer.
How was your guys' trip?
Oh, it was good. We got some cool drone footage of the Kenai. Caught a red, couple casts in.
It was
Like I
like,
said,
I think it was like a second cast. Like
He's
his
like-
first cast to get line out, and then his second one was
yeah, I was
like,
like, boom. Pow. You know what I'm saying?
I just like,
Caught me
I
a big-
hate, like I leave my red rods the exact same
Sure.
for that. So I just don't have to mess with it or think about it.
And your weight's probably right. If they're
throw
in thick, if they were
Yeah,
in thick,
yeah.
whatever setup you had with that hook and that weight would have been like not a good day for
I'm
these
just-
sockeyes in the
I'm
vicinity.
more like
but there was
running
only
the
but-
boat and chilling and letting
Yeah.
Trav and Kyle fish. So I'm like, I got 2 rods are set up. Just take them. Kyle's like, getting his weight.
tying my stuff
I'm
on.
like, bro, like you could have been fishing 10 minutes.
It's all
ago.
about the process.
It's
Yeah.
funny. A lot of people are like that.
And I got it. When you pick up somebody else's rod, it's a different feeling. You're like, you don't know the weight of the rod versus the line. And I just felt like because I actually like started lowering my weight. If you notice, I had a heavy weight and I was going out deep, and then I really want to get in that soft water, so I took my weight off and got slower.
Do reds bite?
No.
So you're just
You gotta
you're
hook 'em.
lining him in the mouth. You're hitting him in the mouth with your hook.
And then we look over and there's a moose coming right across.
Oh yeah, I got a shot of a moose from the drone just sitting in this lake. The crazy thing was when we were boating is the chalk line in the water.
Yeah,
The chalk
that
line
was
of the
very
Kenai where the mud dumps out and the blue comes in, and they're just like a perfect like swirly line.
Yeah.
Epic, like real
So
Alaska
wild.
postcard stuff. Yeah,
I think we're good.
We're probably good.
Yeah.
That was fun.
that was fun.